Hi everyone, welcome back to That's Debatable. Today we are doing all things pop culture happening in everyday society right now. Everything from content creator drama to A-listers dropping new music. We're going to get into all of it. Also A-listers beefing. That I'm excited to talk about. So let's just get right into it. I feel like the internet has been on like a frenzy of just so many random things just popping up, so many random people fighting, people dropping music that out of nowhere on Super Bowl commercials that I feel like the internet's always on a frenzy though. There's always something happening. And I want to start it anything from like family channels breaking up, which on ooh, I was gonna say something crazy. I was like, I'm not happy about a family breaking up. I'm happy about the truth finally coming to light. But we're gonna talk about Beyonce dropping new music, and this might be her last act. Ace family drama that is like eating up the internet right now. Nicki and Meg the Stallion beef, which is ridiculous. Apple Vision Pro. What the is happening with that? Halftime show. Super Bowl just happened on Sunday. Also Nickelodeon. We'll talk about that. And the Oscar teaser trailer where they kind of threw shade at Margot and Robbie. I don't even know what I'm saying. Margot and Greta not being acknowledged or nominated. So let's just get into it. Let's start with like something that I feel like has been at the forefront of what at least my For You page. I don't know if you guys know who the Ace family is, but there was like Austin McBroom, Catherine Paez, and they had their daughter Elle, and they've been on YouTube for a while. Really successful family channel. And as of recent years, they've kind of had a lot of backlash against them just because it's now come to light that there are a whole bunch of scammers, which I mean, we could have known that if you just like watch the stuff that they do, like whatever. That's just is we're gonna leave that there. But recently they got divorced. Well, they just announced that they're getting divorced, which is like honestly about time. That man has been cheating on her for however long, and everybody knows about it. And it's been all over the internet. He's been like DMing OnlyFans girls to be their manager, which I feel like we should do like a whole episode on because the OnlyFans of it all is so scary and weird, and people can get so like, like I guess he's been trying to DM girls being like, hey, I want to be your manager. Let's connect. I have this many on YouTube. And obviously, if you're a smaller creator and you see somebody as big as an Austin McBroom, where he has millions and millions of subscribers, you'll kind of be like, you'll feed into it. But I feel like there's like I don't know, there's something dark about that. That's just like weird. Because they end up taking advantage of these girls, and it's just awkward and it's weird. So he's been kind of on that. He's been having like a public breakdown, which honestly, I don't think it's real. I think it's all of it's for views. He recently announced that he got himself an RV because obviously Catherine kicked him out of the house, or I don't know what they did. He's not living in the house anymore, and he is making the majority of his money on Snapchat now, which Snapchat pays so well. It's insane. He got an RV and he parked it right outside her house, and that's where he's living. And he's kind of like cosplaying as like a poor, broken down man who doesn't know what he's doing in his life and isn't making money, when it's like we all know that there's no way that they were on YouTube for this long and this man doesn't have money because he Snapchats everything. So even like his whole family's filled with weirdos, and I'm gonna go on the record and say that family is just so weird. And what the saddest part of it is like you have children and they're babies right now. And I mean, you've exploited the crap out of them their entire lives. So I'm sure you have money from that. But I don't know. I always think about like what's going to happen when these kids grow up and see this, because a digital footprint is real. Once you put something on the internet, it lasts forever. And I just thinking about the kids, like, can you imagine being, I don't even know. I think their youngest is, I have no idea. It's probably like what, 7 or something. I can be completely off, but something around that. And growing up to like be 15, 16 years old and looking at your parents or your dad more specifically on the internet making a fool out of himself. He invited this little person to his RV because something with the RV was off, which by the way, he's not living in it. It's literally just a gimmick. And I don't know, they put on like this whole weird skit that she was trying to flirt with him and trying to get him in bed. And he was making like little person jokes like, oh, that's too big for you. Super weird, super not inappropriate, considering that his demographic is children and children are believing this. I don't know. He's also just done so much weird shit in the past. Like, he had, I guess, like his niece or whatever, that child, a little child, maybe like 6 years old, takes her to like Spencer's, and we all know the back room of Spencer's, and he got her a lollipop, but from the back room of Spencer's. So this lollipop was like genitalia, and he had this little girl like, and it was like, he thought it was funny, like he was like Snapchatting it, like, oh haha, oh my god, she doesn't even know, and it's like, so there's always been like that weird like dark shit when it comes to, I don't know, for me, I always think family channels are just weird and inappropriate, but that kind of like changed everyone's mind of like, oh, this guy is not, there's something loose up there. But yeah, so he kept making jokes like that, and everyone is like believing it, and it's all over the internet, and everyone is like, oh my god, is this real, is this not real? And obviously it's not real. He's doing it as a gimmick just to get money. He has his family in on it, like his brother and DDG. He wrote a song. DDG just had a baby with the Little Mermaid, and I don't know why this man is like, take care of your kid. You have a newborn at home. Like, why are you out here entertaining Awesome McBroom? Whatever. Don't want to give him too much attention though, because obviously this is what he wants. But yeah, that was just like a weird internet thing that everyone's been talking about. More importantly, since the Super Bowl just happened, Usher just performed at the Super Bowl. He had Alicia Keys there, which Alicia Keys looked absolutely beautiful. I don't know if this is just me, but when Alicia Keys did that Grammy performance where she was playing the two pianos, it rubbed me the wrong way. Something about it just rubbed me the wrong way. I don't know why. I was just like, girl, what? And then she just disregarded the one piano. I don't know. Maybe it was her dream. But Alicia Keys is so talented. Little, I guess, kind of, not scandal, but little like moment is when she started singing, her voice cracked, which is normal. She's a singer. But they edited on YouTube. So now all over the internet, people are putting up like the differences between the two. Also, Usher like loving up on her crazy. This woman is married. Like, he was like behind her, grabbing her. And you could kind of tell that she was like, haha, don't touch me. Like, I know this song, like, my boo came out years ago, but you are not my boo. Get your hands off me, because my actual boo will beat you up. And Usher did an amazing job. I really like how the roller skating part, or the skate part, that part was so cool. He is so talented. That man has the loosest legs I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, he was just wiggling and moving up there. He had so many people come up. Everybody was so confused because at first they thought that like CeeLo Green came out. CeeLo Green was not on there. People thought that Kanye West came out. Kanye West was not on there. He had a Little John on there. He had Ludacris. It was very like early 2000s vibe, which I thought was really nice. Her came out there playing the guitar, which I'm not fully believing that she can play the guitar, but I don't think she was playing the guitar in the Super Bowl. I think it was just like she can do that, but for production reasons, I don't think that she was playing it live. But she killed it. The show was it was very entertaining. I will say it was a lot more entertaining than the Rihanna one, which is crazy to even say that because it's Rihanna. Rihanna's was a little bit underwhelming, if I'm going to be honest with you. But Usher really put his whole poon poon in that. And like, he did a really good job. Really sweaty, really tired at the end. You could tell how passionate he was about it. One thing that threw me off though was when Usher was like, for everybody that said I wasn't going to be able to do it, for everybody who didn't support me. Usher, what? You're Usher. Who didn't support Usher? What? That was like when Harry Styles won the Grammy and he's like, things like this don't happen to guys like me. What? What? Are we dumb? Like, I don't first of all, Harry Styles, be so for real. What do you mean things like this don't happen to men like you? If anything, it's supposed to happen to people. It only happens for people like you. Usher, I don't know who didn't support you, because I'm pretty sure we were all singing, "This is my confessions." Like, I have not met an Usher hater. That's like Beyonce being like, for everyone who doesn't love me. Beyonce, you're Beyonce. Which brings me to my next point. Beyonce dropped new music. Beyonce dropped new music, and obviously in the most iconic way ever on Super Bowl Sunday, after her Verizon commercial. If you guys didn't see the Verizon commercial of her being like, um, "Did we break? I can break the internet, and I can also break Verizon's like cell service or whatever." So the whole commercial is her trying to break Verizon, and at the end of it, obviously she doesn't do it. She does like the craziest things. It's so funny to see Beyonce in like her acting era. Anything that we can get from Beyonce, we're gonna eat it up. And at the end of the commercial, she goes, "Did we break it? No, we didn't break it. Okay, let's break it. Drop the new music." And right then and there, music went live. And she is in Act 2, and this is her country era. So this next album is going to be all country music. And the first two songs that I listened, it's 16 Carriages and Texas Hold'em. Absolutely beautiful songs. I don't like country, but I'm about to turn into a country bumpkin. Like, I'm so ready for this. And I didn't even realize I've been preparing this for my entire life because this memory popped up into my head. And I don't know if this was everyone's high school, but in high school and middle school for 6 years, around the holiday season, right before we would go on holiday break, we would learn how to line dance and square dance. I know how to square dance. And I'm prepared for this. I would always ask myself too, like, damn, why are we learning how to line dance in gym? Like, we should be doing gym. We would do it for like 2 weeks out of the year, for 6 years. By the time I was a senior, I was an expert square dancer, bitch. And I'd always ask myself, like, why are we learning how to do this? This is so random. Like, we're in Jersey. Like, I'd understand maybe doing it in Texas, but like, this is just random. Little did I know that my school was preparing me for Act 2 of Beyonce's new album. So they were way above their times. This was like really all pre-planned. I'm very excited about it. And it's so interesting to see how somebody like Beyonce, how influential she is to get a whole bunch of people who don't like country. Because if you listen to Beyonce and you're Beyonce like diehard, I'm sure obviously some people like country as well, but it's very different. But she's here to remind everyone, like, no, I am from the South. I'm from the H. Like, let's not forget who Beyonce is. And with this new act coming out, it's crazy. How can Beyonce is making people love country? Like, that's so crazy. She's making me love country. Like, I'm like, I will totally eat this up. I will buy my cowboy boots and my hat and my chaps. I don't care. I don't know what else is country. Maybe I'll wear an American flag or two. I don't know. But I'm really excited to figure out what this new era is going to be. But I think the rumors going around in the internet is that this is going to be after Beyonce does her third act, which right now we're in the second. The first one was, Act 1 was the Renaissance. Act 2 is country. We don't know what the album's called yet, though, so we'll wait. And then obviously she'll do an Act 3. And they think, or the media or fans think, this is going to be her last run of things. That's it. After she drops Act 3, she's done. And Beyonce, as we know, will forever be the legend. And that's it. We're done. And she'll be done. Which I don't know if I think that. I mean, I hope not. I really hope that Beyonce doesn't stop making music because that'll be such a sad day. But it also does kind of make sense because after the third act, that's it. The show is over. And it would also be one of the most iconic things ever if she were to just stop making music after the third act. Like, that's it. I gave you everything. I gave you the Renaissance to remind you of the ballroom, of the Vogue, of myself, how much I've given to that community. Act 2 is I'm country. Let's not forget, I'm also from the South. And I think the third act is going to be, but I'm also Beyonce. And it's going to be kind of the culmination of everything that she's done in her entire career. Even with her dropping 16 Carriages, everything Beyonce does is very, very calculated. 16 Carriages talks about how basically, like, when she's like 16 carriages running away with all my dreams, she talks about how she's been in the industry since she was 15, 16 years old. And the 16 carriages represent the tour buses that she would have to go on and living in the back of a bus and being overworked and overwhelmed. And now she has kids. And so I feel like that was kind of like a hint to be like, it's going to stop. We're going to stop. I'm going to give you guys three more albums, and then I'm done. And then don't ask anything of me. I'm done. I've given you 20, 25 years of my life to this. She's in her 40s now. Also, with Beyonce, the Grammys just happened, actually. And Jay-Z won I think it's like the Mogul, Dr. Dre's honorary not trophy, award, and it was awarded to Jay-Z, and he brought Blue Ivy on stage with him. By the way, it's crazy that that little girl is like kind of grown. She's not grown, but like we all saw her when she was like a baby, and now she's like, oh my God, you are growing up. We are getting old. Holy shit. And he had something really interesting to say, which, oh, Miley Cyrus won her first Grammy. That was a big thing. Miley Cyrus won her first Grammy for Flowers. She had a beautiful speech. She talks about how something with the butterfly and how, a little boy always wanted to catch a butterfly. And at one point he tried and he tried and he tried and he couldn't do it. And then he gave up and he was okay. He kind of came into, I'm not going to catch his butterfly. It's totally fine. He sat down, the butterfly fell on his nose. And then Miley says, and this award is my butterfly and Flowers is my butterfly. Oh my God, she ate it up. Also, body, yaddy, 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 yaddy. Holy crap. When she performed, she was sculpted to the gods. So I don't know what yoga or Pilates she's doing, but sign me up, bitch. She looks absolutely amazing. I was so happy to see her just radiate, and she looked so beautiful, and it was such a beautiful night, and it was absolutely amazing until Taylor Swift won her fourth best album of the year. God, like, sit down. Can she sit down for once in a while? Can Taylor Swift please sit down? She's standing, and I understand it's women supporting women. I get it, but now it feels a little gimmicky. Sit down, bitch. Like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I don't want to do it. Jay-Z also has that speech kind of broke the internet a little bit, because he talks about how the Grammys like to snub people, which we did an entire episode about. I think it was like the first episode we dropped about the Grammys kind of being unfair to certain people. Miley was a part of that. That was a bullet point within that episode of me talking about the fact that Miley's been in the industry for 20 years and has not won a Grammy. She dropped Party in the USA and The Climb. Party in the USA, like, honestly, so it was world peace for a couple hours, honestly. And we still listen to Party in the USA. Like, be so for real. The most patriotic thing to ever happen in this country was Party in the USA. That's it. When was the last time have y'all seen Americans come together and sing one song with their whole chest like that? I'm just saying, didn't win a Grammy for it, but that's fine, whatever. But she finally has a Grammy, and Jay-Z talks about, this young lady right here, referring to Beyoncé, has won the most Grammys anybody has ever won. She is the person that holds the most Grammys in her house. She's won. But she has never won Album of the Year. Within the own metrics of the Grammys, that doesn't even make sense. He says, some of you will come here and you'll think you got robbed. You think you'll get robbed. Some of you will get robbed. Some of you don't even deserve to be in the category. T. Everybody was shook when he said that, because, I mean, he's not wrong. Like, I think he's not wrong. He's not wrong. And I don't want to say who I don't think deserves to be in the category. Ice Spice for Best New Artist. But, like, it was really, really, it was kind of crazy to have somebody like Jay-Z acknowledge it like that, and also kind of put it in that light of the fact that Beyonce has never won Best Album of the Year, but she has the most Grammys under her belt. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. She should have won for Lemonade. Adele even said it. Like, Adele made her whole entire speech about Beyonce and was like, you deserve this. I don't know why they gave it to me, but this was supposed to be for you. But again, there's like a little wonkiness into that. We don't really know what happens behind the scenes of the Grammys, but we can all just wonder. Really good win of that night was Victoria Monet won for Best New Artist, which is kind of crazy for her to win Best New Artist, because she's been in the game for 15 years. So for her to finally, I feel like the Grammys really tried to be like, damn, all right, we can't keep getting away with not giving these people these Grammys, because Victoria Monet was a huge part of Ariana Grande's Thank You Next album. She wrote a lot of that music with Ariana. Also, Victoria's just been in the game for so long, and she's so talented that I was so happy to see her get it, because out of everybody in that category, it was a strong category, but she definitely deserved it. And she talks about it in her speech. Like, I may be Best New Artist, but I've been around for 15 years. So it just goes to show you really never know when your timing's going to be. Really, everybody was really upset that Ice Spice didn't win it. Be so for real right now. If Ice Spice would have won a Grammy before Victoria Monet, and there's just no shade on Ice Spice, I think that she has a very clever way of making the most random things sound hot. Like, and it might be the beats. Like, Ice Spice just dropped "Think You the Shit, You Not Even the Fart," viral. What? Like, okay, go off, I guess, but definitely not for Best New Artist. I think Victoria Monet has put in a lot of time, a lot of dedication, and I'm glad that the Grammys are finally starting to give that recognition to the people that deserve it. Miley being one of those people. Like, it's insane that she's gone this far. And she's been so deep into her career, and she hasn't been awarded at least one Grammy. And she did the performance of Flowers, and she likes singing. She's like, and had to remember that I just won my first Grammy. And it was such a beautiful, like, we love that girl. Protect that girl. And oh my God, love her. Let's see. Where else are we? Ooh, speaking of somebody that doesn't have any Grammys, Nicki Minaj started beef with Meg Thee Stallion. Can she leave her alone? Can Nicki Minaj leave people alone? There's a difference. Legacies are so hard to build, so easy to break. So easy to break. And we are witnessing Nicki Minaj ruin her own legacy. She is a genius. She is extremely talented as a songwriter, as a rap artist, as a vocalist. She's so talented. I'm not negating that in any sense of the way. But why are you fighting with everyone? Like, this is just what doesn't make sense. And I saw this thread of somebody saying all the people Nicki Minaj have had beef with. And there was like over 40 people on that. And that's like, but why? And I feel like it kind of goes into a thing of, and I think women fall into this all the time. As women get older, they start to feel like almost forgotten. And I think that's like a woman's experience. People talk about that all the time, that as men get older, they age like wine. Women age and everybody just forgets and doesn't care about them anymore. And maybe she's kind of fallen into that. I'm not too sure. I'm not going to speak on her experience. I don't know. But the Meg Thee Stallion beef and her kind of put the nail on the head of, Nicki, what are you doing? You're Nicki Minaj. She's fighting with people on TikTok. Like, why are you commenting on random people's like TikTok videos being like, watch out, don't talk about Nicki like you're Nicki Minaj. You don't ever see Beyonce doing that, because Beyonce knows I don't have to engage with you guys. I'm Beyonce. And not to say that, I mean, Beyonce is better than us. Beyonce is better than us. I know that she has that Southern charm. She's like, I'm not better than anybody. But Beyonce, your name is Beyonce. Be so for real. Like, you're Beyonce. But you don't see that same level of like cattiness between Beyonce and the new artists that come in. I feel like Nicki Minaj has a really difficult time with new artists coming into the scene because she wants to remind everybody she's the queen. But it's like, nobody didn't say you were the queen. Now we're saying that you're not because of the way that you're acting. This is not queen behavior. But I feel like she's doing the same thing that Lil' Kim did to her when she jumped on the scene. Like, Lil' Kim bullied Nicki Minaj because of the fact that she's like, I'm the OG rap girl. Nobody else is gonna come in. But it's like, Meg Thee Stallion had a line in her new song, and I think its song is called Hiss, and it says, "Hoes not mad at Megan, hoes mad at Megan's law." And Nicki Minaj took it upon herself to say that line was about me. If Nicki wouldn't have said anything, people would have forgotten about it. Nobody would have cared. If you guys don't know what Megan's Law is, it's essentially like the sex offender list, the law made up against, basically you have to register on this list. And if you guys don't know this, Nicki Minaj's husband, also baby daddy, and also her brother is not her husband. I'm saying two separate people. I realize how that sounded kind of crazy. Her husband is on the sex offender list, and her brother is also on the sex offender list. We for a long time swept that under the rug because it was Nicki Minaj, and we love Nicki, and we're like, okay, we're gonna talk about it, but we're not gonna talk about it too much. We're just gonna sweep this under the rug and we're gonna forget about it. Nicki Minaj took it upon herself to remind everybody that her brother and her husband are on the sex offender list by being like, why are you talking about my papa? She calls him papa. She's like, you don't talk about papa, like da 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 da. And Nicki Minaj went on a full-on Instagram live rant and started talking about Megan's mother who passed away, and talking about like calling her Bigfoot. And she's like, she's beautiful, but she's big as shit. Well, yeah, that's why it's called Meg the Stallion. She's the stallion. She's a whole lot of woman. I think we all knew that. And then Nicki Minaj took it upon herself to drop a song, probably one of the most garbage songs I've ever heard in my entire life. And it was just bad. It's a very good example of sometimes when you're angry, you should allow yourself a moment to sit down with those feelings, process those feelings, and then respond. Nicki Minaj did not do that. She just responded right away and she dropped that song. I can't even think, what is it called? Bigfoot or something? I don't even know. It's a really bad song. At the end of it, she goes on like this weird ASMR rant where she's like, you never are to talk about me ever again because you don't want me to do this and this and this to you. You don't want it to come out to light. Don't do it. Lied on your dead mama. Lied on your dead mama. You see how uncomfortable that was to listen to? Now imagine listening to a song and having that at the end of that song. What are you doing? And the whole time, the whole song is lied on your dead mama. Lied on your dead mama. Ugh, what demonic shit am I listening to right now? It just was not, it didn't eat, and it really kind of tarnished a segment of her legacy. I don't think her legacy will ever be taken away from her. At the end of the day, she still dropped Monster. She still has dropped Super Bass. So, I mean, hey, put respect where respect is given. But I think Nicki Minaj should chill out. I think she should sit down. You know, really random tangent. Somebody prank called me the other day. And I thought it was one of my friends. And I picked up and they're like, Team Nicki or Team Meg? And I was like, Team Meg. Duh. I was like, Meg didn't even respond. That's how you know you won. Meg didn't even respond. She responded by just laughing on Instagram. That's so embarrassing. They prank called me and then they kept calling me, figured out who they are, figured out where they live, called them back. And I was like, why the hell you keep calling me? Leave me alone, Bethany. Shook. She hung up the phone. I'm so sorry, ma'am. I don't know what. I was like, exactly. Stop fucking calling me. Called me for 3 hours. Tried to block the number. Then she got her boyfriend to call me. And he was like, fuck you, bitch, you ugly fucking bitch. And I was like, who is this? Quick Google search. Because I know how to find somebody if I need to find somebody. So don't prank call me. Figured out where they live. And I was like, why is Bethany from Rutherford, New Jersey calling me, bitch? And she's like, what? I'm sorry, ma'am. I didn't call this number. I said, don't fucking call me. Don't call me before I have to go to your house because this is inappropriate. Whatever. I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah, that started with the Meg and Nicki thing. And I guess Nicki Minaj is prosecuting me too. It was Nicki Minaj calling me. But yeah, that was Nicki. You didn't win that fight. Sorry, girl. Please. Sometimes saying nothing is a response. And within that response is kind of like Beyonce doesn't respond to every hate comment she gets. I haven't seen a Beyonce hate comment. I did see a Beyonce hate comment, but you think Beyonce gonna respond to you? And now the Barbs, Nicki Minaj's fans, are like violating people and doxing people, giving out people's information, posting it on the internet. And I think this is gonna be a good example in the future when there has to be laws made up against this, because the amount of people that have been doxxed because of the stuff that they said about Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl. Swifties are doxing people, releasing people's numbers, addresses, families, social security numbers. They released where Meg the Stallion's mother was buried. Like, there has to be some sort of law put against that, because that's just not okay. And it's crazy. The girls are going crazy. Also, speaking of Super Bowl, really quick, I didn't realize that Nickelodeon also showed the Super Bowl, but they had SpongeBob and Patrick commentating on it. That, absolutely amazing. I hope that they do that next year, because then I can actually watch it and understand it. Dora was explaining what everything is. She's like, oh, early start. That means when a starts way too close. Like, amazing. And then she's like, map, what does that mean? They go 5 yards back. I love that. Why didn't I know about this? Oh my God, I would have been they had slime, they had Patrick firmly grasp the ball. Oh my God, I loved it. It was so good, and I really hope they do it next year. Sandy was the on-field commentator. Like, that's so cute, and it's such a good way to get not only like kids to watch Super Bowl, but to get other people who don't really normally watch football to understand football, or at least have kind of like a nostalgic feel to it. They had slime on the field. Like, it also, Sweet Victory, if you guys don't know what SpongeBob episode I'm talking about, it's when they perform in the Megadome. and it's like, oh, sweet victory, and it's supposed to be like their halftime performance. They used that as the beginning of the Super Bowl. Iconic, 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 iconic. I love SpongeBob. So smart, so smart. And I hope they do this again next year. Nickelodeon, if you're watching, do it again next year. I will be 110% tuned in. I'll watch that one as opposed to like whatever else is. I don't even know what the Super Bowl channel is on, but I'll definitely watch the Super Bowl Nickelodeon. I feel like that one is a lot more tolerable. I don't know what they did for the halftime show though. I'm pretty sure they just like aired it normally. But where am I? Oh, in recent news, Apple Vision Pro recently just dropped. That's kind of like the snowboarding goggles that you can walk around with. There's something so Black Mirror about that. I've seen people in public with it. One, I'm like, what? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it yet. Maybe I'm just like I'm turning into like those old people that are like they're like, the technology's gone way too far. It's gone way too far. It's gone way too far. I don't know what's doing. Get the off my grass. Like, that's what I feel like I sound like when I'm talking about it. But it's true. Like, why do we have this? You don't need to be connected at all times like that. That is so scary. And will I buy it? Yeah, probably. I'm probably going to buy it. I just want to know what the vibe is. Like, it's a little scary, but I don't know. I wonder what it looks kind of cool, but also feels very Black Mirror-ish. Oh, and I guess we can wrap it up with the Oscar teaser trailer, because Jimmy Kimmel dropped a teaser for the Oscars. Like, it's like their promo thing, and they had Barbie kind of he was in Barbie Land and he had to get back for the Oscars, whatever. And at the end, Ryan Gosling is like, oh, I got in and out. Like, that's like a Oscar tradition that after people win the Oscar, they go to get in and out. And Jimmy Kimmel's like, no, like, you're supposed to, the tradition is you win the Oscar, I was going to say Grammy, win the Oscar, and then you get in and out. And he goes, oh, well, I'm not winning it anyways, so it's fine. He's like, but I'm sure Greta will probably get in and out after she wins. And Jimmy Kimmel's like, oh, no, she's not nominated for Best Director. And then everybody in the scene starts yelling, and they're like, ah! And it's like, okay, haha, so we can make fun of it, right? We can use this to get promo, right? You're still talking on a woman's name, getting all the exposure you want out of it, but you still want to acknowledge her? Okay, I guess. So that was kind of like the Oscar tea. And I'm sure that Jimmy Kimmel's going to make a plethora of jokes about Margot and Greta getting snubbed at the Oscars. So we'll just be prepared for that. But yeah, and I mean, and all news is happening. Great. Saltburn was released. Saw Saltburn. Weird movie. I didn't think I was gonna see Dong the way that I did. Honestly, I wasn't prepared for that in no way, shape, form. Jacob Elordi looked gorge. And yeah, I think that's it for pop culture recap. I'm trying to think of anything else. If you guys have anything else that you wish for me to speak on, new documentary is dropping about child stars on Nickelodeon. I don't know on what channel, but I did see that they're gonna, which is crazy because we did a child star episode. They're doing a whole entire like documentary about what it was like being a child star on Nickelodeon under like the Dan Schneider reign of things, which I'm really excited to see. And we might do not a reaction episode, but kind of, I want to watch it and then see how I feel about it. Because we did talk about it in past episodes. So yeah, I think that's it for pop culture recaps. I feel like I got a lot of what was happening. If I forgot anything, let me know in the comments below. I'm sure by the time this episode goes live, there'll be a whole bunch of different things that came out. So maybe we can, I don't know, make pop culture recaps like a monthly thing. That way we kind of stay tuned on what's happening with what's happening. And yeah, just to recap everything, Beyoncé, country era. Usher thinks nobody supports him. Okay. Alicia Keys, voice cracked because she's a musician and it's normal, and they edited it on YouTube and everyone's talking about it. Meg Thee Stallion, Nicki Minaj beef. Nicki did not win that. Apple Vision Pro has this in a Black Mirror episode. What else did I talk? Ooh, Grammys. Jay-Z talking about the snubs. Miley Cyrus wins her first Grammy. Victoria Monet wins her first Grammy. And I think Nickelodeon did the Super Bowl the way the Super Bowl was supposed to happen. And the Super Bowl happened. I don't know who won though. I don't know who won. I know I would have known if I watched the SpongeBob one. I don't know who won. I think Mahomes. Taylor Swift won. Taylor Swift won the Super Bowl. God damn. All right. Well, I mean, congratulations to her. I hope she's happy. I'm pretty sure she should get a ring. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Out of all the NFL milked her so hard, they should give her a ring. Why was Ice Spice and Lana Del Rey in the suite with Travis Kelce's family? That was so random. Why are they there? I understand Taylor, you know, has her business going on with the Kelsonator, but like Ice Spice, Lana, what are you doing? Blake Lively makes sense, like it's their besties. Blake Lively looks so beautiful. Oh my God. But I hope, Taylor, you had a good Super Bowl. I know you trained really hard for it. And eat down. And that was this month's pop culture recap. I'll see you guys next week. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn on your post notifications, do your big one. And yeah, I'll see you guys on next week's episode. Bye.